Mark Finley is hiding his abortion video. Why? A friend of mine alerted me to the fact that Pastor Mark Finley's video dealing with abortion had suddenly disappeared from the HopeLives365 YouTube channel. I decided to verify this unusual occurrence and searched Mark Finley's YouTube channel for the Adventist Abortion Document Review by Mark Finley video from top to bottom without success. It was definitely missing from his YouTube channel for some strange reason, and I wondered, why would Finley hide something he seemed to have produced with such confidence and assurance? Was he having second thoughts about his strong defense of the Church's position on abortion? Was he trying to seek for some time of reflection and additional Bible study on this life and death topic before proceeding? Fortunately, I had saved the video link and clicked on it and was happily surprised to discover that the video was still there, but hidden for those surfing his YouTube channel. You can verify this by clicking on the link I am providing at the end of this presentation. While we wait to see what will come out of this strange occurrence, I invite you to examine Finley's strong defense of the Section 6 of the Church's new document on abortion, the portion some critics have labeled as the abortion loophole. It contains a very clever defense of the abortion of babies with fatal prospects and birth anomalies that allegedly render certain unborn babies incompatible with life. Is this a valid reason for aborting them instead of letting nature taking its course? It also contains the unbiblical claim that the doctor, a fallible human being, the God-given authority to make the final decision of whether the baby will live or die at the hands of the attending physician working in an Adventist hospital or clinic. And the suggestion that the Holy Spirit may in some instances guide the woman and her doctor to take the life of the innocent baby in violation of the sixth commandment of the Lord. I will attempt to analyze Finley's comments in a systematic fashion.
Today we're going to talk about the recent abortion statement voted at Annual Council. Hi everyone, my name is Matt Gray. I'm the Media Director at HopeLives365, and today we're talking with Pastor Mark Finley. We're going to be talking and discussing the recent abortion statement that was approved at Annual Council, and we're going to ask Pastor Mark a few questions.
At the General Conference Annual Council, Pastor Doug Batchelor manifested his approval of the new document on abortion, but he requested that Section 6 be removed before the final vote of approval.
The sixth point is one that brought a lot of discussion, Matt. I think point number 6 was the most discussion, and I think the reason for that is it was misunderstood by many as opening a door for abortion as we define it in the document. Let me read it and then give you an explanation of this sixth point.
Correct. Point 6 of the document generated a lot of discussion for a good reason. It was understood by many as opening the door for abortion, for which reason it was referred to by some as the abortion loophole.
It says God's grace promotes life in a world marred by sin and death. We are not living in the Edenic world. Ours is a broken world. Ours is a shattered world. Ours is a world where at times women are violated, and we stand in opposition to that. We stand not only for the dignity of life, the sacredness of life for every baby, but we stand for the value of every woman, every man, every child.
Yes, there are things that happen in our broken world that are not in harmony with God's will. One of them is the killing of innocent unborn babies. Section 6 of the document was correctly understood as opening the door to the abortion of babies with malformations.
Death. We are not living in the Edenic world. Ours is a broken world. Ours is a shattered world. Ours is a world where at times women are violated, and we stand in opposition to that. We stand not only for the dignity of life, the sacredness of life for every baby, but we stand for the value of every woman, every man, every child. That's what Adventism is all about, this sacredness, this sanctity of every human being. It says God's grace promotes life in a world marred by sin and death. It is God's nature to protect, preserve, and sustain life. And it talks about how in the book of Romans, a broken world is outlined, where the whole creation groans in pain. There are things that happen in life that are absolutely not in harmony with God's plan. They're tragic.
The fact that we live in a broken world in which there are things that are not in harmony with God's will should motivate us to avoid breaking this world even further by justifying what the Lord has forbidden, shedding the blood of innocent human beings.
And it talks about how in the book of Romans, a broken world is outlined, where the whole creation groans in pain. There are things that happen in life that are absolutely not in harmony with God's plan. They're tragic. And there are births where the child dies in utero, the child dies in the mother's womb. There are times that there are life-threatening issues for that mother. There are times that there are very difficult, very painful decisions to be made. So there's a sentence that is put in the document that says, consequently, in rare, now notice the language, how carefully it is chosen. In rare and extreme cases, human conception may produce pregnancies with fatal prospects. Now, notice these are fatal prospects. And or acute life-threatening birth anomalies that present individuals and couples with exceptional dilemmas.
If the baby has died in the mother's womb or if the life of the pregnant woman is at great risk of dying, no one will blame the physician for removing the child out of the womb, but if the unborn's life is at risk of dying before birth, there is no moral justification for killing it, thus compounding the moral brokenness of the world.
Decisions in such cases may be left to the conscience of individuals involved in their families. These decisions should be well informed and guided by the Holy Spirit and the biblical view of life outlined above. What does the statement not say, and what does it say? You know, somebody challenged me recently. They said, do you believe that a conscience should guide us whether a woman has an abortion or not? And you know what my comment to that was? A biblically informed conscience. A biblically informed conscience. This statement does not open the door for abortion at whim or choice.
Can the church rely on the conscience of a troubled woman who is faced with an unwanted pregnancy? This is a time when the conscience of a woman is least reliable and she is most likely to make the wrong choice. The social pressure to abort may become beyond her power to resist.
That there are times when a woman's life is threatened. There are times when a baby is in a fatal condition. The goal is always to save life. The goal is always to preserve life. But this document does not presuppose in any way that physicians do not have the authority or the ability or the God-given right and mandate to make choices in very critical medical conditions. Neither does it take that choice away from a woman in that medical condition or her husband.
If the baby is already dead, there is no harm in removing it out of the womb. The same is true if the pregnant woman is at great risk of losing her life due to an ectopic pregnancy, for example. But where in the Bible is the God-given right to make a choice to kill an innocent human life? No one has the biblical authority to violate God's law that reads, "You shall not murder," and the biblical injunction against shedding innocent blood. No wonder Pastor Finley seems to having second thoughts about this video he recorded in defense of abortion when the baby is in a fatal condition and incompatible with life. What seems to be incompatible with life is his defense of what the Lord has forbidden, the intentional killing of innocent human beings. Now you have the chance to watch Pastor Finley's video in its entirety by clicking on the link provided at the end of this presentation before it is entirely deleted, perhaps from Finley's YouTube channel.